In this video, we are going to build a simple auth system for Microsoft Access application. So I've got user ID and password. If I click here, and we will go to the dashboard. In the dashboard, we can see that full name and the role is fetched from the VBA database, from the Access database through VBA. It is now being presented onto these two fields. Not only that, in this video, you will learn how to build that basic auth system, as I mentioned. So if the person working in finance will not be allowed to create the stuff, they will get an error, but they are allowed to go to the invoices. They will not get error and they can easily get in. So it's a very nice simple auth system that you can develop for your application. So if you are interested, then stick around and let's get started. So in the last video, I've created a very simple login mechanism for Microsoft Access. So if you can see, there's a very small form with just two fields, and we have a login button. If I click on it, we click on dot dot dot, and here we are in the VB editor. So this is the code we've written, very simple, and this does work, and it's very reliable as well. So this is the code. If you haven't watched that video, by the way, I would suggest that you do watch, so you kind of get on with the algorithm, get on with the sequence that we have. And so this is the continuation of the previous video. That's why I'm recommending. So this is the code just to log on. Now, what I want to do in this video is I want to build an auth system, very simple authorization system. So once the user logs in, they will be, or they are directed to the dashboard, and the dashboard has a few buttons, right? So we can say staff information, customer information, orders, invoices, financials. So see this as a menu on your system, and you want to restrict some of the users for using some of the functionalities. And this is where we can build that simple auth system. And for that, we have to capture the role of the user. So we can define that if this is the role. So let's say I'll take you to the users table. I've got 3 people, and all 3 people have different roles assigned to them. So admin, sales, finance. So just for demo purpose only. And I'm going to show a demo where we can restrict some of the users. For example, finance. The person working in finance should be able to go to financials and should be able to go into orders and invoices. Do they need to have edit or create uh, functionality for the staff or customer? Might be question mark. So we, for the demo purpose, we will restrict some of the users for some of the functions, so we can see how this basic auth system actually works. So that's the little explanation before I thought I will get into the VBA. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to login, and we need to fetch the user related information. So most importantly, we need to fetch what is the name of the user, full name, and the role. So again, this comes from the table itself. So full name and the role. That's what we are going to capture, but we're going to use the VBA. So let's click on login. We'll go to the dot dot dot, and here we are in the VBA editor. Right here, before we, sign in, login, or whatever you want to call it, before we get into the system, before user gets into the dashboard, right here we will write 2 lines of code. And in the previous video, I mentioned this. We're going to use a function called temp was. Basically, it's a temporary variable. It will store the information temporarily for each time a user will log in. So it will capture the information, keep it stored, and then you can utilize that information wherever you are in the application, essentially. So what are these 2 lines of code? So we'll start with temp was. As I said, this is about the temp was, and as usual, I'm struggling to write the code. And then we're going to add, what we are going to add? Well, we're going to add the current user. So basically, this is a name I have given. You can give any name to this variable. So you can say, I would give a name called current user, but then we need to define what does that current user means. Our information is stored, users information is stored in the table called users. So we have to somehow point out to this table so we can look for the information. And we have used the DLOOKUP function in the login. So we will continue with the usage of DLOOKUP. So we'll say DLOOKUP, and then parenthesis open, parenthesis close. And what are we actually fetching? We're fetching the full name of the person who is logged in, and then the role. So these are the 2 columns we're going to refer to when we are writing the code as well. So first, let's go with the full name. Okay, so this is what we're fetching. From where we are fetching, that's the next question, right? So domain as string. So domain is users. And again, we will have double quotes, and then we'll say users, and then comma and username. So this is what we are referring to, because we need to have some sort of a common identifier. Now I know there's a user ID as well, but we, because the username is mentioned already, we are going to consider that as a unique identifier. So we'll say, for example, double quote, and we'll say user name equal, and because the username is in string value, so we'll have single quote right here, and then we'll have double quote, and in between double quote we'll have single quote, and in between all of that we will have the ampersand. I know this is how it is structured, so we have to use it in this way, and we'll type me.txt user, and that should be enough. So with this line of code, we are fetching and storing the current user, the user that have logged in, their full name, and again it's coming from the users table. Similarly, we are going to do the repetition to fetch the role information. So say temp vars dot add, something is missing or wrong, dot add, and we are going to say uh, user role. That's, again, as I said, you can give any name to your tempo art. It's up to you. And then we're going to use the DLOOKUP. Similarly, we have written the code on the top, and this time it's not full name. It will be a role. So this is the field we are looking referring to when we are fetching the data, and then we are from where we are fetching from the users, and this time we are also going to focus on the unique information, which is username. We'll have single quote because the role is also in string value. We'll have double quote here and then single quote, and then in between we will have ampersand, and we will give a reference of me.txt pass. Sorry, we are not getting the password, by the way. We are actually referring to me.txt username. Come on, my keyboard. Okay, so that's about it. So with these two lines of code, we will actually fetch the role from here, and the full name from here from the table as well. So I think this will definitely fetch the information, store it temporarily, and then we can utilize by giving tempo as current user and tempo as user role. But is this enough? Not really. We have to go to the target form, which is the FRM dashboard. And in this target form, we're going to go to the onload event, which is by selecting from the corner, and then we click on getting the property sheet of the form, click on the event, and the second event is onload event. So we'll say dot 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 code builder. Now, basically, what we need to do once the user has logged in, we need to fetch this information, which is stored in the temp was, and we need to populate that information on top of on these text boxes. So we will go back to VB editor, and in here we'll write two lines of code. So first, let's handle the user, the full name of the user. So we'll say me.txt employee name equal, and then we'll have temp was, and then exclamation mark current user. Great. And we'll do the same for role. So txt role and equal temp vars exclamation mark, and then this will be user role. There you have it. Okay. So now with this, we shall see that the user role and name are actually populated. All right. So it's time to test. So let's say Kevin, and then LERRY. Login. Welcome to Loop System. Please subscribe if you haven't. Please make sure you do. Click OK. And here we get the dashboard, but the user role is missing. So I'm sure I must have done some mistake in typing the code. Must have missed something. Let's go ahead and go to design view and go to the onload event. Of course, user, not use role. So this thing should work now, definitely. And we go back to form view, log in, and then, yep, it is now capturing the user information. So now what we need to do is we need to use this captured information using tempas, and we need to do some auth functionality we need to build here. So let's go ahead and do that. So if someone is in sales, they should be able to add staff, customer, orders, invoices, but they should not be able to get in the financials bit. Okay, maybe I'm just making it up, but this is just an example. So we go back to design view, and then you have multiple options, by the way. Either you can hide the buttons, or you can restrict the buttons when the user clicks on a button, and then a user is getting error, or user is getting message that they are not authorized for this function. So you can do it either way. So let's start with we don't hide the button, but we give that message box to the user. So let's say staff information. We go to the event tab, dot dot dot, and right here we will write the code. So we'll say if temp was exclamation mark user role, and we will say if it is not sales, because the sales, sorry, if it is not admin, sales staff cannot add the staff itself. So only the admin staff would be able to add the admin, add the people. If it is not admin, then we need to say do cmd.beep message box, and you are not authorized for, sorry, for this action. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this code so we can reuse it rather than me typing over and over the same thing, because there are 3, 4, 5 buttons here, and so we will avoid that. But first we need to check whether this thing works or not. So if we'll go back, go to the form view. Now if the code is correct, it should give us error. If we click here and they say you are not authorized for this action, so code is working correctly because I've signed in as salesperson. So let's sign in as the admin, which is John Smith. So let's go to the login and we'll say John and Smith. And if I will go now, staff information, well, it doesn't give any error or message box, but technically it is telling you are authorized. If I'm not authorized, I will get an error. In real world, you will have a form, which is perhaps staff form, so you can navigate the users to that form. So that's what it is. So we can have a better experience for the testing. So let's say we come here and we say else, and then we copy this, and then we say you are authorized for this section, and instead of critical we'll say VB information. I'm just trying to show how do we utilize this information, and then we build this authorization system. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So let's go back to login and we sign in as admin again, and there you go, John Smith, admin, and it says yes, you are authorized. Okay, so likewise we can repeat this same code. So let me just do that with the customer. So we can say, yeah, if it is sales consultant, if it is salesperson who has signed in, they should be able to do the creation of customer and not the admin. I'm just giving some random thoughts and the auth system. So, but you can build as per you. So this also orders will come here, and we will paste right here. Same goes with the invoices. So let's say invoices is only the finance. Okay. So we'll say finance. Is that the role name? Yes, finance. So if it is not finance, then it's an issue. Okay. So let's go to the last one, financials. Of course, again, if it is not finance, the role assignment, then they can't access this. So let's go ahead and now log in as perhaps not this one, perhaps Robert Downey Jr. So we'll say Robert, and then the password would be Downey. Come on. DOWNEY. Oh, please provide. Oh, great. Why I'm doing lots of mistake today? I don't know. Now let's see. Staff information. You're not authorized as a finance person. Maybe you're not authorized to create the staff. Customer. No, you're not authorized. Orders. You're not authorized. Well, actually, finance person should be able to access the order, so you can give that authorization. Invoice, yes, you're authorized. Finance, yes, you're authorized. So you can see that how the auth system can be built. It's very, very easy. So what we did first is we have written 2 lines of code for the temp was to capture which user has signed in and their full name and role that they have assigned to them. And then we went on to FRM dashboard, and behind this on the onload event, we have put some code. So it definitely allow you to restrict and show or hide. So you can actually hide also. So if this is the condition, hide the financial buttons altogether. You can do a lot, and VBA is powerful in that manner. So I hope that you have learned something. If you have, then great. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, smash the like button if you have learned something. and let me know in the comments below as well. That's very, very important. So thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one.